Good morning, everyone. Now, beginning with our topic, what is colonial or what is colonialization? In this book, you will read about the way the British came to conquer the country and establish their rule, subjugating local Nawabs and Rajas. Subjugating means somewhere they have tricked local Nawabs and Rajas. You will see how they established control over the economy and society, collected revenues to meet all their expenses, bought the goods they wanted at low prices, produced crops they needed for export, and you will understand the changes that came about as a consequence. Now, they had come the Britishers had come to India for the purpose of trade, but slowly and slowly, they have tricked local Nawabs and Rajas, and slowly they have taken them under their control, and they took the control of the entire economy, entire society. And what they started doing, they started exploiting our people. They started exploiting our resources for their own benefit. Our resources were being taken away by them. Our people were being tortured. Our people were being suppressed just for the benefits of the Britishers. You will also come to know about the changes British rule brought about in values and taste. Definitely, when people come to India, right? Though Britishers had come to India for their own motive, for their own purpose, but yes, along with them, even a lot of changes had come to India, whether it was in terms of education or culture, right? Western education was there. There was a sudden influence of Western culture on Indian mind. The intellectual class, the high class of the Indian society, was attracted by the Western culture, by the Western taste. All of a sudden, people began to like French toast, right? People began drinking tea and coffee. Tea and coffee. It wasn't there in India before Britishers, right? Britishers were the one who have introduced tea and coffee in India. So you will also come to know about the changes British rule brought about in values and taste, customs and practices. Like Sati Pratha was banned by your Britishers. Child marriage was banned by your Britishers. So there were certain good changes also, right, which Britishers had brought in terms of practices. When the subjugation of one country by another leads to these kinds of political, economic, and social and cultural, we refer to the process as colonialization. Subjugation of one country means, you can say, improvement, or you can say when one country is when one country is overtaken by another, and a lot of developments are said to be brought about by that country. Though in India, Britishers didn't brought any development. They had actually, they didn't even wish to do any kind of development. Whatever developments they have done in India, they have done for their own purposes. Whether they have built railways, whether they have developed many of the hill stations. If they have built railways, they have developed railways in India, it was so that they can make their trading practices easier. If they have developed your hill stations just because they wanted a home like environment, because European countries, they are cold, they have a cold climate, and Britishers are used to those cold climates. That is why they have developed these hill stations. So definitely, whatever changes they were bringing, it was for their own purpose. But subjugation means when one country, when one dominant country or one influential country takes control of another country for the purpose of bringing some positive changes in that country, is termed as colonialization. You will, however, find that all classes and groups did not experience these changes in the same way. That is why the book is called Our Past in the Plural. Now, moving to a new topic, that is your administration. How do we know? What sources do historians use in writing about the last 250 years of Indian history? How do we get to know about our Indian history? And we already have a discussion regarding this, right? Through the literary sources, through the manuscripts, through the inscriptions on coins, through the carvings on stones, we get to know about our history. Now, administration produces records, yes, and the Britishers have maintained some records also. Britishers were very good in keeping records. So, through the records which Britishers have maintained, we get to know about our history. One important source is the official records of the British administration. The British believed that the act of writing was important. Every instruction, plan, policy, decision, agreement, investigation had to be clearly written up. Once this was done, things could be properly studied and debated. This conviction produced an administrative culture of memos, notings, and writings. When Britishers had come to in India, and the way the Britishers were maintaining record of everything, of every plan, of every investigation, so it brought a new culture, a culture of keeping records, a culture of memos, notings, and reports. All these were kept as a record by your British administration. Whatever changes they were bringing in India, whatever policies, whatever plans they were making, they had record of everything. And these records only today are very helpful for us to study our history. The British also felt that all important documents and letters needed to be carefully preserved. So they set up record rooms attached to all administrative institutions like we have today. For keeping the records of your examination, we have examination room. In examination room, all your academic records are kept. Similarly, Britishers have developed a record room where all the documents related to the administrative institutions were kept. The village tehsildar's office, the collectorate, the commissioner's office, the provincial secretariats, the law courts, all had their record rooms. Now, every important office, every important government building has their own record rooms. And all their records, all the records of their day-to-day activities were kept in these record rooms. Specialized institutions like archives and museums were also established to preserve important records. Letters and memos that moved from one branch of the administration to another in the early years of the 19th century can still be read in the archives. You can also study the notes and reports that district officials prepared, or the instructions and directives that were sent by officials at the top to provincial administrators. In the early years of the 19th century, these documents were carefully copied out and beautifully written by calligraphists. Now, when your print culture has come to India, so all the records which Britishers had maintained, now what happened was all these records were photocopied and they were decorated beautifully. That is why those specialized in the art of beautiful writing. The calligraphists are the ones who are specialized in the art of beautiful writing. By the middle of the 19th century, with the spread of printing, multiple copies of these records were printed as proceedings of each department, right? So whatever records were there, firstly, the records were maintained and then they were written beautifully. And when your printing culture has come, the photocopy of everything was maintained. Now, class, what you will do is you will go through these lecture once. You will go through these pages once again of your NCERT book. Also, you will go through the previous lecture, as I have mentioned some homework there which I haven't received yet. Fine. So slowly and thoroughly go through these lectures. If any query is there, you can note it down and contact me on your WhatsApp group. Also, we'll be completing this chapter in our next lecture. We'll be positively completing this chapter now, and then I'll be even sharing you the question answers. So whatever queries are there till date, do ask me through your WhatsApp group. Thank you.